Hello everybody and welcome to Senior Susie Stamps. Today I wanted us to use up some stickers and some ephemera that I got in some Happy Mail. I've got several cards to show you, but first of all I wanted to show you this very simple background technique that has a lot of punch for the effort that you put into it. It doesn't take but just a second to do. And the first thing that you do is to figure out what colors that you want to use. And I'm going to use these little butterflies, and so I've chosen Pool Party and Midnight Muse and Orchid Opulence to go with these. And I have cut a first layer down to 4 by 5 1/4. I have a top fold A2 size card. I have some gold glitter glue, some water in a spray bottle, a little overall stamp just for making some additional patterns on the paper. I have a baby wipe at the ready, and I have some diamond dots that I'll use when I finish this card. Now, this is kind of a wet process. You could use watercolor paper if you wanted to. I'm not going to do that today, but I am going to use a plastic bag, and it doesn't matter. It could be an old bread bag, it could be a Walmart sack or a sandwich bag. It really doesn't matter. I'm not going to use the Walmart bag because it crinkles, but I think I'll use this little sandwich bag because it's just handy to have to use. Now, the first thing I want to do is to take my primary color that I want to go over the majority of the card, and I think I will use this Orchid Opulence for the majority of that color. And I'm just going to put some down on my little wet mat. Now, this is a Dollar Tree cutting board. One of the things that I have, it's a staple in my studio for doing this kind of technique. And you'll see I spritzed several squirts of water on there, so there's quite a bit of water now in that ink. And I want to just drop some of this glitter glue down, and then I'm going to put my little sandwich bag on my hand, and I'm going to smush it around a little bit to kind of distribute that glitter glue. And then I'm going to bring my little top sheet that I've already cut and just put some glitter and color on that page. There we go. That's all it takes right there. And then while this is drying, we'll go ahead and put some other cards together. But you can see, what did that take? A minute maybe? The entire process. So the drying time takes longer than anything. And if you wipe it up with your baby wipe while it's still damp, your glitter glue doesn't stick to anything. And when it dries, the glitter doesn't come off. So that makes it really nice and handy. So I'll set this one aside out of the reach of Julia so she can't get her fingers in it. And we'll proceed on. Now, I've got some cards to show you, of course. And let's start there. I've been trying to use up some stickers. And this is the first card. And on this one, I used a lemon lime and yellow background that has some gold glitter in it. And I don't know if you all can see that glitter or not, but it really makes a nice shiny card in person. And then I put some stickers on. Looks like I might need to put a little glue on that, but these are just some stickers from the Dollar Tree, and it makes a really nice festive little happy birthday card. Here's another one that's kind of toned down a little bit, and I used blue and some blue glitter, and then I used this stamp with the same color ink around the outside. It's a really easy, simple card to make. This has a little green alcohol ink around the outside edge. Here's another one. This one has pink and blue and gold glitter the pink is what I originally smooshed down in there, and then I did a little bit of blue in there with my blending brush and added it just to pull this blue on this sticker into that card. And then the fourth example that I have is another one that's kind of toned back. It's a monochromatic. It has light blue glitter in with it, and it's a really pretty little card up front. So let's get some of these other cards made that I've put together. This piece has some soft sea foam and pink pirouette and gold glitter. What I have found is on these cards, they do warp, and so what I want to do is to get my Xyron out and put some adhesive all over that card. And that means that the card will adhere to the card base completely. All you have to do is put a little bit of pressure on to get a good adherence on the Xyron adhesive. And we're going to pull this top clear piece off. And then we'll pull the backing off. And the whole entire sheet has adhesive on it then. And this is a really good, easy way to put these kind of cards together. So this is a 4 by 5¼ inch top layer. So I'm just going to put that on this card base. I'll rub it from the back. And you can see there's no or very little glitter that comes off in my hand. It's all stuck on there really nicely, so it won't be messing up with things for whoever you send it to. So I've got some stickers. These all came from the Dollar Tree, and I thought they might be fun to use. I'm going to cut these apart a little bit because I want to make kind of a little banner with them, kind of coming up around in a little curve here. There. I'll trim these off. And then I've got a little flamenco and a little sentiment that says stand tall. And I'm going to put this right down in the corner. I'm going to put my flamenco right up on top of it. And you'll notice that the backing on the flamenco just really goes nicely with the background on that card. And it's a done deal. So the only thing I have left to do now is to just add a few little gems in there. And I think I'm going to use some of these kind of turquoise colored gems. And of course some art glitter glue to glue them on with. And my little gem picker, which has gone on vacation somewhere. There it is. There's all kinds of things you can put you could put an edge around it. You can mount these up onto colored cardstock if you wanted to. But if you're trying to use up stickers and you need some backgrounds, these are the simplest, quickest way to get one that I have ever found. You could smush it on instead of using a bag, but what I found when I did that particular technique instead of doing it with the bag is it seemed like the glitter kind of clumped up a little bit, and I really didn't care too much for that. I liked it better with a little bit more control on where I placed things. But see what a pretty card that is, and it's good to go. So here's another one. Let me put these away so I don't end up throwing them all over the floor. Ask me how I know that. Okay, let's see what this one looks like. Oh, this one's green and pink. And it started out with some soft sea foam. And then I had these little stickers that I got on sale for 57 cents at Hobby Lobby one year. And they've been in my stash for I don't know how long, so it's time to use this stuff up. On this one, I used a decal edge ruler, and I drug my alcohol marker around on that just to give it a little bit of interest in the outside. And I had this little heartfelt sticker in my stash, so I thought I would use that. But because of the black on that, I did a little black edge on this piece. Let me go ahead and get the Xyron adhesive on this. And we will get it put down. If you don't have a Xyron, you don't need one. You can use glue. I don't find that ATG gun works really well on this because you just need more surface area to glue than you normally put down on an ATG. But I suppose if you really wanted to lay it on thick, you could definitely get the same effect. This one, the green, the seafoam, went down first with silver glitter, and then I did a little bit of rosebud, which is a memento ink color, with my blending brush on the top of that. And this one is cut to 3 3/4 by 5, which is the second layer on an A2 size layer chart. I'm going to put Heartfelt up on some foam, and it's going to go over on this side. And I have cut my little stickers kind of apart so that I can place them where I want to. That's a nice little trick to have in your playbook. There we go. And then I got one for the inside. So let me get these put down. These are old. They've been in the stash for a long time, so I am going to put some glue on the back of these. So bear with me for a minute. It doesn't have to be all over, but it needs to be where it'll stay down on the stem and not lift back up. There. And I'm going to do that on all these pieces. Uh-oh. I just tore that one apart, didn't I? Come on, little guy. This is what happens when stickers get old. They get kind of fragile, or they just lose their adhesive tack. Well, adhesive tack you can deal with, and this one's nice and sticky, so I'm just going to put that one on down. And it should be fine, but I am going to put some glue back on this little flower. And then we'll see how this one does. And it's nice and sticky also, so I'm just going to put some on the big flower head. And there was a little boo-boo right here, so I'm just going to use that flower to cover it up. There we go, and I'm going to put this little guy right here on the inside. And that card's done. I'll stamp a sentiment on the inside later. There we are. Now let's go back to this first one that we were working on and see if it isn't ready to finish up, and I believe it is. Good deal. So now on that lavender or orchid opulence, I want to add some Pool Party to that. And I'm going to bring my clear mat back in, because I'm probably going to want to blend all the way to the edge on some of this. I don't need a lot of it. I just need a little extra color that will tie those butterflies in some. And I'm going to use a little bit of Midnight Muse in with that as well, because of this one little butterfly is really dark colored. So I thought a little bit of dark blue might be kind of just what we needed here to pull these all together. I don't suppose this shows up really well on the camera, which is unfortunate because the glitter on this is just really, really sparkly. There, and I think that's about all we'll need. And I think these two little dark spots that pulled up on that ink will be covered up. I want to wipe my ink off. And my little cutting board I'm going to set over on the other table and let it dry up before I put it away. And it will be used again. I might try some little dots, and I believe I'll put those in the dark blue. And I'm just turning this several different ways and kind of doing a perimeter stamp around the outside edge there. That's all I think we'll need. Now I'm going to run that through my Xyron. Well, no, let me show you how I do my gluing on this, because it doesn't make any difference if you use a Xyron or if you glue it. But normally I don't put near this glue on. But when I'm doing a piece like this where it's had quite a bit of water and glitter glue drying up on it, I run my glue tracks pretty close together that way. Here, I'll show you. I'll get this covered up. I don't know if you can see that or not, but you can see how close that glue track is. And then it should stick just fine on the card that way. This is a really pretty background. Now on this big butterfly, I'm going to kind of hang it off the edge a little bit. And I think I'll bring this one in there. And where'd the third one go? Oh, there it is. I wanted him to kind of go into the background, and I'm going to put this one up on some foam tape. And I'm going to put this one down first and then work those other two around it, I think. I'm going to cover up these two spots here that I didn't like and have it kind of hanging off the edge here, and then trim it back a little bit, just like you would anything that you were going to hang off the edge. Gives you just a little extra added dimension there. And then this one I'm going to pinch, and I'm just going to glue the center down. And the reason that we used gold glitter on this piece is because these all have gold metallic in them. I think maybe we'll have this one coming off too, and that'll leave a spot. There we go, and I'm going to glue this one down flat and then trim part of it off. But there it is. I'm going to draw some antennae on those. Let's see, I have a black fine tip pen here. This is a 0.25 millimeter micron pen, and it's very fine. It's perfect for drawing these kind of little antennae. There. And that card's all done except for the sentiment, so I'll get to that in just a minute. So, let me go find that, and I'll be right back. Well, I didn't find the one I was looking for, but I found this other sentiment that will work very nicely with that. It says, let your dreams take flight. So this came out of Flutterby Butterflies. It's hot off the press. Paper Wishes. It's probably old. I have no idea. It's in the butterfly, in one of the butterfly drawers, and I'm clueless as to how old it actually is. But I'm going to put this on my Misty now and stamp it in. And I believe I'm going to use some pigment ink on this, and I'll tell you why. It's because on the glitter glue, sometimes it's very challenging to get regular ink to stick well. And I believe I'm going to use some Nocturne on this. VersaFont Onyx Black would have worked just fine on this, but I thought I would try this Nocturne instead. That did well, didn't it? Good deal. I think I'll do one more just for good measure. There. I think that looks really nice. And so that's the cards for today. Now, you won't see this one in the end because it has to dry. Pigment ink, you know, takes a little longer. And when you have it set down on top of a glitter glue surface like this, it will take even longer than normal to dry. But that turned out to be a really pretty card, and you see that background was just so easy to make. It didn't take any time, and there's a lot of gold glitter that pops up when you move this card, and it goes really nicely with the gold metal metallic on these, the gold foiling. So let me show you the cards again. And let me know if you have a favorite. You know how I am. I always like to know if somebody's got a favorite. I don't know if I'd be able to choose a favorite on this one, but I'm kind of leaning towards the flamenco. And I think maybe on this one, I may add a few little diamond dots in that, and I don't know. I may just let that go as is because it's got a lot going on. So there they all are. And I hope you have been inspired to try some of these little backgrounds like what I've made and use up some of your stickers because they're not doing anybody any good in your sticker drawer. So I'll talk to y'all soon and have a great week. Bye-bye.